Boeing's ongoing battle to resolve strike action continues, but with little to no improvements actually being reached and talks once more being broken off, with the unions that Boeing is trying to actively work with pretty much stating that a resolution just seems so unlikely at this point. After many failed attempts to return to the discussion table with the union representing some 33,000 members, talks again reignited at the week's midway point. In the latest round of talks, Boeing was said to have offered some minor improvements to the union, home to tens of thousands of disgruntled employees. However, the improvements offered were far too minor to have any substance and turn the corner. As a result, talks paused again, and a resolution was not yet reached, dealing a blow to all relevant parties. The strike has been ongoing for nearly a month and has significantly hurt Boeing. Multiple aircraft programs have seen output halted. This ranges from the MAX to the 767 and 777 families. Halting further work on these core aircraft programs is hardly the least of the manufacturer's worries, as it is already facing increased oversight from the Federal Aviation Administration. That means this strike action is just the latest blow in a never-ending run. And when you do combine the increased oversight I touched on with employees walking off the job, output levels ultimately will drop to record lows, which would ideally have been avoided but simply hasn't been. From purely a business standpoint, airline customers away from the plane maker also stand to lose the most. These customers, as we know, have been unable to get their aircraft on time for an extended period, and while delays are to be expected in pretty much nowadays anything in life, it is just the great deal of uncertainty that happens on a monthly basis for these airlines. They simply have no idea when they're receiving these aircraft. So the question remains how on earth they are meant to plan for that plane's arrival, whether that be the launch of a new route that continues to be postponed or the retirement of an aging aircraft. And the strike action that we're seeing now prolonged will only further add delays and financial alongside operational harm. Employees are also seeking greater proposals, for this is what the strike action all involves, to compensate them for their work amid a rising living cost. The industry has recently been one of the more prone to walkouts. It's been a featured story here on the channel across 2024, whether you're a pilot, someone working on the aircraft, say in the role of a cabin crew, to engineers and even ground staff, all very critical roles to their own degree. But all roles where the people that fill them are looking for better conditions. These walkouts all follow unions representing these employee bases right around the world, seeking better work conditions for the long term, and in some cases, they will look towards their neighbours in other countries and even companies close to home that have had their contracts rectified, hoping for something similar. There still seems to be a great distaste for the current strike action at Boeing between the union and the plane maker. This distaste follows the incremental improvements that take weeks to arrive and fundamentally are missing the core points that the unions are pressing for in that rectified contract. Furthermore, as all of this continues to rampage on, Boeing's operational output is only dropping further, considerably affecting its monthly performance and financials. At Boeing, these things come at a worst possible time, but unions would argue that this one is on the plane maker, as no resolution is being reached, and what they're coming to the table with simply is considered an insult. Boeing remains a damaged company, continuing to be beaten from seemingly every angle. Just when you think improvement is on the horizon, there's another story looming over them, or another issue that is fundamentally not allowing them to progress in the direction entirely that they would like to head. They're bruised, and there just doesn't seem to be a sense of relief. Rectifying these contracts will be an important next step, but you have to look at it from a standpoint of when is it going to get done, and once it is actually done, which it will have to be at some point, what do the overall expense change look like for Boeing, and how do they maneuver that with all their other difficulties? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your latest industry news.
and we'll fly.